Yes.
What page do you have it on, Janke?
118.
Ah, okay. Good, thank you.
It's the last,
Yeah, I have it.
last paragraph, yeah.
Okay.
Mitamol is Zava befallen am modne Ruhigkeit. Suddenly, Zava was overcome by a strange calmness. Mitten spitz von der vergräuter Bord zwischen die starke Zähne ist geblieben sitzen und getracht. So he put the edge, the tip of his graying beard in his mouth, in between his teeth, and he remained sitting, thinking pensively. Es ist ihm klar geworden, als Easter muss man machen als Sof, an Emerson Sof. So it was clear to him that now they had to bring the matter to an end completely. Es geht gar schlecht. Things were going really bad. Es verkocht sich eine neue Miesa Kasha. A new ugly mess was being concocted. Man kann noch zuschreiben, Fremde sind euch. And they could even attribute to him foreign sins as well. Als was du erzählt, hebt on mit gemachter Gelassenheit. Als Chanele, was du hast dort erzählt, ist a Simon. As okay, so everything that you've told me now, Chanele, he said, he began with an artificial calmness. Everything, Chanele, what you have told me is a sign that no, sis unsakona. There's no danger. Erot dich noch als lieb, dein Chosen. Your Chosen is still in love with you. Leibitschke. Is Taka gleicher? So, yeah, this gleicher, is it possible? I'm not sure how to understand that gleicher.
Is that the gleiche?
Is
it better?
True? Can this be true?
I think is it better?
Gleiche? I would think it's
Gleich, yeah, is yeah. She's on Sakone, dich no als lieb dein Hosen, Lebetschke. Is that a gleiche? I think is it right?
Yeah, can this be true? Can this be the case? Okay. It's a Weinze Chanele. So Chanele burst into tears. Sie glaubt nicht ihre eigene Ohren. She doesn't believe what she's hearing. Was redet ihr? Mit ihm? Mit dem groben Jung? So she says, what are you saying? With him? With this groben Jung? Laut? Mitten, du musst, Chanele. You have to. Azay können das weiter nicht losen. We can't leave it carrying on like this any longer. Ist Zeit später, so he says, now is the time. Later, Zava hat schwer zerviert mit beide arms. So Zava stretched out his hands, both his hands. Sie hat ihm angehabt bei die harte Knie, wie damals schon noch allemen in dunklen Pelzkammern. So she grabbed him by his hard knees in the same way as then in the after everything had happened in the dark Pelzkammer, the fur room. Ich will bei euch sein a Dienst, hat sie plötzlich zerklippet. Gret will ich euch waschen, als. So Chanela says to him, I want to be your servant. She suddenly sobbed to him, I want to wash your laundry, everything. Und hat sich sie futterlich beruhigt, and he, in a fatherly manner, calmed her down. Gegeben ihr zu verstehen, als es kann noch werden ärger. And he made her understand that things could get even worse. Itster will sich alle anstoßen, für was hat zertrieben die Kinder von Stub, für was hat abgelassen die Mehl. Now it would be possible for people to guess why he had chased his children from the home and why he had neglected the mill. Und von wem Kiva der Besdetnik hat gekrogen a Kind, and from whom Kiva, the childless man, had received a child. At sind seien alle drei unglücklich. Now all three of them are unhappy. Sei Zava, sei sie Chanela, sei der Chosen ihrer Leibitschke. So he, Zava, Chanela, Leibitschke, all of them are unglücklich, they're unhappy. Erzählen dies bei ihr in die Hand allemen glücklicher machen. So now it's in her hands to make everybody happy. Übrigens, versteht sehr gut, wie es tut ihr weh. And moreover, Zava understands very well how painful all this is for her. Und dankt ihr der Fahr, wo sie, als sei jung Blut, will besser ihm, Zaven, ein älterer Mann, es ist der Fahr besser nicht reden mit ihr allein. So Zava understands very well. Sorry, we've done that already. And he thanks her for the fact that she, as a young blood, this young girl, would rather have Zava, an older man, and for that reason, it's better not to speak to her alone. Soll sie besser schicken zu ihm die Muma Kuna. She should rather send her aunt Kuna to speak to him. Mit der Tokkerke wird ihm sein leichter durchzuschmusen sich. So with the fitter's wife, it will be easier for him to discuss the matter.
You want to read more?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
happy
We
to read more.
each have a lot to read today, huh?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Dosmal hat sich die Tokkerke gelost überreden und ist gegangen, nur was sie hat dort mit Milner abgeredet, das weiß Hannele nicht bis heutigen Tag. So this time, the fitter's wife changed her mind and she went to speak to Zava. But what she and the Milner spoke about, Hannele doesn't know until the present day. Sie weiß nur, als Gor in a kurze Zeit herum, hat die Mumme Kuna genommen Greiten zu der Gruppe. All she knew was that in a very short time thereafter, her aunt began to make preparations for the chuppah. Der Tocker hat sie gekauft ein paar neue gewendene Häusen und Leibitschke, dem Chossen, gelassen abnehmen a garnitur. So she bought a new pair of cloth pants for her husband, for the fitter, and for Leibitschke, the Chossen, she had a new suit sewn up for him. Und das Mal hat sich Leibitschke euch gelassen. And this time, Leibitschke went along with this. Hat nicht geskandalert und nicht geworfen dem Cheviot von Stubarois. He didn't make a scene and he didn't throw the cloth, the wool cloth, out of the house.
We all remember what that's a
Er is
reference
nog,
to.
pardon?
We all remember what that's a reference to, the earlier scene.
Right. Yeah.
He had a fit and threw the cloth out of the house. And she
Right. Yeah. Is nog Jedner nog gegangen nog Hannele. So he even more avidly pursued Hannele. Wie a Katz auf Fleisch geguckt, auf ihre Brust und noch stärker gepeinigt sie, wenn keiner ist nicht gewesen in Stub. So he stared at her breasts like a cat stares at meat. And he tortured her even more strongly when no one was in the house. Sei macht wirst du doch bald gehen mit mir zu der Gruppe. Hat Heint, was breckelst du sich? So he says, in any event, you are going to, we are going to get married. So why are you hesitating? Oder Gorprost, der alte Neuef hat gemerkt, meg ich euch. The old adulterer was allowed, so why shouldn't I be allowed? Okay.
Okay. Nechama, you want to continue?
Sure.
Okay.
Vor Wochen herum hat man sie Taka geführt zu der Gruppe. In a few weeks, they led her to the Chuppah mit a weißen Tuch über den Ponim, with a white cloth over the face, und statt a dinem Schleier, instead of a thin veil. Mama Kona hat nicht gewollt, man soll sehen, die ungeschwollene Augen von der Kalle. The aunt, Kona, didn't want that everybody could see the swollen eyes, the Kalle's swollen eyes. When die Kalle allein hat Eucha so gewollt, and the Kalle herself also wanted this way. Was for a Kalle? As a Schleier. What kind of Kalle was this? This veil. I guess it's referring to the fact that it wasn't the usual, it was a thick, coarse kind of covering. Und alles ist zugegangen kushera, and everything went
Kashura.
kashura, the kosher way.
Kashura.
It's not kosher.
Not kosher.
No,
Went appropriately.
appropriately. Okay, and
Yeah.
everything
Yeah,
went
it's the same shores, but yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Unruhig ist Chanela geworden, nur demals, wenn sie hat der Kind Rav Zavi's figure bei der Chuppah. Chanela became uncomfortable just at that time when she recognized the figure of Zava near the Chuppah. Der Milner's Ponim hat sie durch den dicken Halb a rotgelosenen Schleier nicht gekannt sehen. The Miller's face, she couldn't see through the half sort of down, would you say? A rotgelosen falling down, or veil.
Loose maybe.
Halb a rotgelosenen.
Loose, not
Loose.
tight.
Veil, she couldn't see that. Sie hat aber der Kind seinen breiten Sordut über seine Knie, but she recognized his broad. I remember we had this word in the beginning. The way when he went to shul, his is that his like coat?
His coat, yeah.
Yeah.
Coat over his knee. Sein Ophusten sich. A Dribener, sie zitterlich hat sie angenommen. His cough and the Dribener, like a gentle, like drub, a small shaking took her over. Wie soll kann das bei sich holen? How she's thinking to herself, how can he do this? Wie soll kann das zusehen? How can he stand here and watch this? Sitter is nur weg mit dem ersten Zug Wein, but her trembling went away with the first little taste of wine. Was mir hat ihr der Land unter den Schleier, that they gave her under the veil. Noch der erste Woche, Yekadesh Imo, that the first blessing under the chuppah. Analash Chanala, was das is. What a silly Chanala this is. Rev Zave hat sich dabei gehabt sein Cheshbon. She's so silly to think this way, that how could he stand there and watch this? He had done his own reckoning, is that what you would say? He had thought this through carefully?
Yeah, he had his own planning.
Yeah, he had thought this through very carefully. Mit sein Kommen zu der Chuppah hat azoi neuend zugetragen dem Lump zum Nose vom ganzen Chasana Onolof. With his coming to the chuppah, he brought the lamp, I think this is to the nose of the whole crowd there, as alle seinen verblendet geworden. So everybody was blinded. So everybody was completely impressed. Verschittere Schuschkin sich in Stott, als der Kalles Mumme läuft etwas zu oft zu Rav Zavin auf der Mill, the sort of mild or shittere, thin or weak whispering in the town that the Kalles aunt is running a little bit too quickly, a little bit too often, oft to Reb Zava in the mill, is gegangen wie Schäum auf klare Wasser. It was washed away like Schäum, foam in clear water. Lloyd Zavins Wunk haben afilu der Tocker und der Tocketer kein so nicht gemacht davon, als der Negischer Milner geht zusteigen auf an Orme Yesommer. And according to Zavi's wink, maybe his sign or his direction, even the Tucker, the lathe worker, and the lathe worker's wife made no secret that the well-to-do Milner was giving support to the poor orphan, was is a sehr lange Zeit gewesen, a Sittekel bei sein verstorbener Weib, bis sie allein ist schlaf geworden. He is giving support to this poor orphan who was for such a long time the sitter, the helper by his deceased wife, until she, the sitter alone, she became sick. Alle haben gewusst, wie Rab Zave hat sich genommen das Leben nach Roch's Tod. Everybody knew that Reb Zava was completely destroyed after Roch's death. Wie hat herausgetrieben und Stub Grunimen dem Zayalden Shadchin, how he threw out of the house Grunimen, that's the name of the Shadchin.
Yeah, his name is Grunim. Grunimen, it's
It's the dative.
yeah.
The dative. It's the dative case.
His name, the name of the Shadchan is Grunim, not Grunimen. Grunimen is a possessive.
Gruni.
Yeah.
Thank you. The Shadchin is doch Tache der schönste an Male Rachamim, noch a Zavai, Chasene zu machen a Yesoma. And this is really the most beautiful, how would you say, Al-Rach?
It's like, it's
Praise of the dead, I would say.
Praise of the, that's right. Praise of the dead one. After such a wife, that he had such love for, we know that, to help make the wedding of an orphan. Hat man in der Fall angeguckt bei der Choppe wie ein neuenten Mechuten. They looked at him as he stood near the chuppah like he was a close Mechuten, like an in-law, like a relative. Schiel nit gewünschet sich mit ihm Nochen zu brochen das Kiddush-Gläsel. Almost wanting to bless him, or to after the breaking of the Kiddush, the wine glass, that he was a member of this party. He was so close to everybody. So der Kuppe Večera is von deswegen nicht gegangen. To the chuppah meal, he did not go. Noch kein halbjahr nicht arribe, noch in Weibsteut, und wird gehen essen chasene Večeres. Not even half a year since the death of his beloved wife, and he's going to go and enjoy a wedding meal. Chas v'sholom, certainly not. Behavid mechutnim seinen afilu zugestanden zu Zavin. Behavid, I don't know what that word means.
Skilled.
Skilled mechutnim.
Yeah, but Bahamante is like experienced, no?
Experienced, yeah.
Yeah.
Say again?
Experienced.
Experienced mechutnim came to him. Soll bei der Chuppah Večera mechulimer deresh savrin, that they would by the meal serve him. Es vet hasten as tut a naya mitzvah by chasen machen nach Yesoma. This would be that he was making a new mitzvah by to make the wedding of the orphan. Unazoi arum.
Can I just?
Yes, I'd like to understand that.
Can I just interrupt for a second?
Please.
There is a custom. There is a custom when someone who is in mourning attends a wedding, and he shouldn't be at a wedding because he's a mourner. There's a custom that such a mourner will serve like a waiter.
Ah.
Wow, I never knew that.
Okay, so I want to read the sentence. Es wird heißen, als tut a naya mitzvah. So, und soja rum wird Yotze sein Hadeos noch auf as. Oh, no, that's
So if
further
you
on.
take the sentence before,
The sentence before,
Yeah.
haben die Mechutnim seinen Afilu zu Javin, as soll bei der Chuppah Večera. He would be the apparent server.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned something new today.
I often learn
Yeah.
something here.
Yeah, but I all I knew is that mourners shouldn't have music at a wedding.
right?
If there is a death in the family, you don't postpone a wedding, but you don't have music. This I didn't know about.
No.
So he would. What just wanted to. So he would serve he would be the server at the wedding.
Right. So he would be like a waiter,
Uh-huh.
and because he's a functionary as a waiter,
Uh-huh.
he can, as a mourner, attend
Right.
the wedding.
It gets around the inability to remain at the wedding as a rejoicer. He has a function there now.
As a mourner. So
As
that as a mourner, it gets around the prohibition of being
Right. Oh, very good.
having fun, as it were, because he's sort of in employment as a waiter.
Uh-huh.
A Goiser covered. Yeah, I would also like to say, Nechama, Mechoten has two meanings. It's not yeah, it is an in-law, but it's also was for mechuten bin ich. What kind of mechuten is like a guest to a party. It's not necessarily an in-law.
So the Mechuten is also, it's certainly the in-law, but it's also,
It is, yeah.
but it's also a party, the attender to the, or is it a close?
Yeah, if somebody comes to a wedding, is to a party, is a mechuten. A lot is, it is used a lot like in a negative way. Was für a mechuten bist du? Like
How
you
are
came
you
uninvited. Was für a mechuten bist du?
Yeah.
Da?
Yeah.
Bist gekommen essen? That's
How did he come to this? What is his connection with this?
What's your connection? Yes.
yeah, connection. Yeah, right,
What's your connection with this?
right.
Mm.
So
Okay.
in a sense, he was like, he had this connection with this. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, we learned a lot. Okay. Es wird heißen, als tut a neue mitzvah. So he's doing a new mitzvah to make this at this wedding, to make the wedding of the orphan. Now, what does that mean? And this way, he will go out from his.
No. Yotze sein. He will fulfill. He will look. It will look like he will fulfill his obligation. Yotze sein. Like if he did what he was supposed to do.
Okay.
He'll do his duty.
He will have his duty by being there and
duty.
also serving at the wedding.
Yes. In holidays, in everybody's opinion, he'll be seen as doing his duty.
Yeah. My father, let's say, people in the family invited him to a birthday party, so he would say, "Oh, ich will nicht gehen, aber ich muss Joitze sein." Okay, that's.
Yeah.
I have to fulfill it.
I have to fulfill the holidays. No, euch sich hoch mit dem Einfall, gedei zu essen indig bei im Toker und machen de Chaim, hat sich Rev Zave a Kapelle eingeblasen. I don't get that sentence. So, but no, you'll have to help me with that sentence.
Yes.
Zoe is such a smart occurrence. In order to eat turkey at the Lathers, to eat turkey at the home of the Tucker and to make a l'chaim, hat Zave a capella ongeblasen. A
capella, a little bit.
It took a little bit of an offense.
Mochel hat kurzer so getan und weg. Excuse me, he said quickly, and he went away. Hat gewusst, wo abzustellen sich, der Milner. He knew well how to, is it to set himself aside, the Milner?
To draw the line.
To draw the line there. Der Fall aber, wie nur ist gekommen heim von der Gruppe und setzt getun sich auf die Kanape. But afterwards, when he came home from the wedding and sat himself down on the sofa, haben sich bei ihm alle ungezeugene Gesichtsstilchen abgelassen. When he sat down on the sofa, all of the tense, facial features fell down. He
Relaxed.
relaxed. Hat gemacht, uff, und schwer geottelt, etliche Minuten nacheinander. And he breathed heavily several minutes continuously. Der Milchstein is im Arop von Hals. The millstone was coming out off of his neck. Aber alle Beine brechen noch. But still, the millstone was coming off the throat, but all of his bones were still breaking.
They were still aching.
Still aching. Zum ersten Mal nach dem wilde Geschehnis in Pelzkammern hat sich gefühlt frei. For the first time since that wild happening in the fur room, he felt free. Hand und Fuß seien abgepentet. Hands and feet were relaxed, were Atzin können anheben, Ratteven als was is noch geblieben ganz. Now he could begin to salvage, to save everything that remained together. The Stub, the Kindle, the mill, sich allein. He could pull himself together now. The house, the children, the mill, and himself. And then I'll just read. Kodem kol hat sich angeguckt in Spiegel. First of all, he gave himself a little look in the mirror. A Sach greuer is geworden. He had become a lot grayer in this time. Das muss man Mode sein. This one must be aware of. This one must
Admit.
Admit.
This he must admit that he
knowledge.
got, yeah.
Aber die Augen gucken schon häufig. We learned that word from. I see. We learn all the time. The eyes, but the eyes already looking more confident,
More hopeful.
more hopeful. But we learn is Hoffedicker is confident. It's more than hopeful.
No.
Et noch leben, Reb Zava, where now we're going to live a little bit. He's picking himself up again. All right, Rochela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not read this part in 2 years.
Yeah, give it a whirl. Give it a
Ah,
whirl. Hopper
okay,
Dick.
by noch them, I read ahead, but not this one. Okay, bei noch dem hat Tage zurück ausgeschrieben, die erwachsene Töchter von Vitebsk. Stere, die ältere Tochter, hat ihm viele gegeben zu verstehen in einem Brief, als sie und der ältere Sohn bei die Vitebsker Kräuven seinen sich sehr gefallen. Mazel tov, yeah.
Simmentov and Muscles.
Yeah, so after that, he after the Chasene, he wrote to the older daughter, and the older daughter made him understand in a letter that she and the elder son of the relatives, they like each other.
That was his hope in the beginning. Remember when he sent
He said, maybe, who
He
knows?
made-
Yeah,
he'll
we
make
can,
a match with the-
only wissen, yeah, okay. Der Tate soll noch ein bisschen zuwarten. Nur, Save hat schon merken Geduld nicht gehabt. Die Einsamkeit in Stub ist Miss geworden. She, the daughter, let him understand that he should wait a little bit, but Zave didn't have patience anymore. The loneliness, Einsamkeit, in the house, he got tired of it. Hat Stern weggeschriebener Brief, als sie soll von deswegen kommen. So still he wrote to Stella back that she should come. As halt azoi weit meg der Vitebsker Schwesterkind arop kommen nachher, wird man sehen. Since it's the wedding is still some, you know, it's in a distant future, then the groom that cousin groom, the Schwesterkind groom, he may come.
I understand it a little differently.
Yeah.
Rachel. It's. I think what he was saying is that since things have gone that far in their relationship, that the Schwesterkind should come here to Shklov.
Right. It's
halt azoi weit. I still understand it the way I understand it, because she said, oh, sie seien sich sehr gefallen, der Tate soll noch ein bisschen zuwarten. That means that nothing is decided. Oh, that means that yeah, they like each other, but they're going to wait until they get married. Something that's
that she wants the father. The way I understood it is that she's asking the father to give her a little bit more time in Vitebsk while she and this young man pursue their romance, shall we say. But he's saying, but it's already so far along, so you know he can come. But either way, it's the same idea that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Important is that his plan is working out so well. You know.
It seems that way.
Yeah. It seems that way. Yeah.
Why did the wicked not suffer?
In Stuv, wird man sehen, it's like maybe he thought even that if the guy comes over, Zave will rush things for her. I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Let's see.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I don't remember that they are being mentioned later, but maybe they are.
No, they get married. Get married for sure. Yeah.
Ja, in Stub ist weiter geworden freilicher mit einer Aufkommen von die ausgeruhte Töchter. The house became happier when with the arrival of the well-rested daughters. In die Winkellach hat genommen Glanzen und in Kirch hat sich genommen Präglen. In the house became clean again. The corners, the corners started being polished, shining, and in the kitchen things started to fry. They started preparing meals. Die Gehilf of the meal haben der Field an neuem Fleisch besaven. now the help in the meal started feeling a name flies by Zaven. What is flies?
A zeal, a renewed zeal.
Zeal? Okay.
He's working again.
Yeah.
He's re-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. A frische Strengheit ist in sein Kohl und Bremen. Sternkeit in sein Kohl und Bremen und haben sich untergegarschelt. See, this I did not do my homework here. A frische Sternkeit in sein Kohl, that's a fresh strength.
Sternness, I
is-
think.
he put his hands on the wheel again. He was again the boss. He was in charge again. And they began to, they responded. They started working. Everybody needs a manager, you know?
Yeah. Und sein
It was
Kohl,
untergartelt, they gathered strength.
aha.
Everybody, and because in his voice and his Bremen, his eyebrows,
Yeah.
he was back in the guiding seat again at the mill,
Right.
Okay.
and everybody had to listen to what he was saying.
Jakob, you want to continue?
Okay.
Okay.
Wie a kudelatter Hund von Wasserrois, als zij hat Reb Zava opgetreißelt von seinen Sorgen in Meshach von 15 Chadoshim. So like a shaggy dog coming out of the water, that's the way in which Reb Zava shook off his troubles, the troubles that he had had over the period of 15 months. Die dicke, opgelosene places haben sich genommen ausgleichen. His heavy, neglected shoulders began to straighten up again. Hat viele der Leut zurück aufzuschließen dem halbdunklen Zimmer, wo die Pelzen liegen. He even allowed them to unlock the this half dark little room where the furs were kept. Und der Reich von Naphthalin hat ihm schon mehr nicht gestickt als wie früher. And the smell of the naphthalene, the mothballs, didn't choke him as much as it had earlier. Adarabba, der Reich ist ihm geworden ein bisschen chikava, ein bisschen chikava, wie ein ausgewebt Parfüm noch a tiefer Überlebungen. Noch tiefer Überlebungen. So, on the contrary, the smell of this naphthalene was to him like it was a little bit was something that was interesting, like a wie ein ausgewebt Parfüm, like the almost like the fading smell of perfume after a very deep experience. Zwischen die Kreuzgärtner bei der Osere einmal a Shabbos noch Mincha hat Zava begegnet Chanelen. Between the cabbage garden near the lake, once on a Shabbos after Mincha, Zava met Chanela. Sie hat ihm gewollt ausmeiden und nicht gekannt. She wanted to avoid him, but she was unable to. Die Stechke zwischen die heuche fleckende Zäumen is gewesen too small. So the pathway between the high stained fence was too narrow. Ihr niedrig gewordene Brust über ihr ausgewachsenem Bauch hat sich gich bewegt. So her fallen breast over her growing belly moved quickly. Die Simonim von einem Trogen seinen Gewinn sehr deutlich. The signs of a new pregnancy were very clear. A Wärmel, ein Eingeschlafener, hat sich aufgehabt und stark genommen Säugen bei Saven unter den Herzen. A slumbering worm woke up and pulled sharply under Zava's heart. Nor hat es nicht herausgewiesen und futterlich still aufgetan. But he didn't show this, and very quietly and fatherly like, he asked her, "Nu, was machst du? How are you?" Gelobt in Gott, hat Chanele fromm abgeantwortet. So, praise God, she very piously answered. Ich sehe schon, git Zava bitter a Schmeichel. So I can see he's giving a bitter smile. Is geworden staller. So he's become more poised, more sedate. Siehst du, glätt sich Zava die Bord. Hab dir gesagt, gedenkst? So she says to her, yes, see, as he was stroking his beard, I told you, do you remember? Ja, geht Chanele zu mit herabgelosten Augen. Yes, Chanele admitted with downcast eyes. Itzter seht sie Taka als Leibitschke hat sie Holt gehabt. So now she sees that Leibitschke actually did like her. Und sie hat gemeint and she imagined that sie hat ihm nur gewollt sagen, Reb Zaven, als Itzter weiß sie schon, als man kritzt, als soll die Zehn, wie Leibitschke hat gekritzt, fahr der Chassaner, ist das nur von Liebschaft und nicht und von Chaos. Ist das nur von Liebschaft und von Chaos. So she wanted to tell Zava that now she understood that when he would grind his teeth, when Leibitschke would grind his teeth, it was grinding his teeth before the chasana. This was from love mixed in with anger. Der Kaas geht weg, but the anger has abated, has gone away. Die Liebschaft bleibt. The love remains. Nur da ist immer angekommen auf der Stärke von der Weiten. Und Reb Zava und Chanela haben sich gleich ausgemieden und zugangen sich jeder einem in sein Seite. But from the distance, they saw somebody coming towards them along the path. And Reb Zava and Chanela immediately parted, and each one went their own way.
Yeah. I want to say something about the word that we had before, Yoitze Sein. I was thinking while we were reading where it comes from, because Yotze is Hebrew. Nechama, I don't know. You probably know Hebrew well. Yeah, there is the Yoitze Sein comes from Yotze Yedei Chova. That's Yotze Yedei Chova is going out of the obligation. That's what it means. And so Yiddish took it from Hebrew and said Yoitze Sein. What Yoitze Sein, but the people that developed Yiddish, yeah, they like they use our ancestors. They used a lot of Hebraic, Aramaic words. They took this Yotzei Yedei Chova, Yoitze Sein, to be Yoitze. But this Yotzei Yedei Chova is really fulfilling his obligation. That's what it is. The Yoitze. You when you saw the word Yoitze, you said going out. Yeah, it is going out of his obligation. That means
it was used here. I just want to go back to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. If
sorry,
Marcia-
I went back. I cannot help my Hebrew brain.
Yeah, but it says here it's Yotze Sein, the Kol Hadeus. He will fulfill all the opinions. That was what we said.
Or fulfill his obligation. That's he will fulfill his obligations. That means so he will come out of the obligations. That means
Very nice. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, he did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
If
He did what he was. That's what it means. But that's in Hebrew. That's latzet yedei chova.
Mhm.
Latzet.
So he would do his duty.
I'm going there. I'm going there. Latzet yedei chova. They invited me, so I'm
going to fulfill the obligation.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the Yoitze. That's Hebrew.
He would do his
Okay.
duty, I think.
What did you say? Sorry.
He would do his duty.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Fulfill responsibility.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, you want to continue? Nechama.
Ja, zwei Moschekes. Als wollt ist gegangen, ganz nicht gedickt, nicht
Koshedig.
koschedig by Zavin, the millionaire. Now everything could go very smoothly for Zavin, the millionaire. Befragt hat schon probiert, euch zu geben, sein älteren Tochter euch. he now had the time, the opportunity to give out his older daughter. That was Stera that we were hearing about before.
Yeah, right.
Zwischen Stern und ihr leitischen Schwesterkind is in Vitex is Taka geworden Shidduch between Stera and her Leitischen, is her well, it's her cousin, but what is Leitischen?
Leitischen, like nice, decent.
Oh, decent, her decent cousin in the text. Actually, it became a shidduch. Und konne de tokerte, Zavi's gewesene Sonne, and Kone, the wife of the lathe worker, Zavi's former enemy, is gekommen, Saverin, zu der gehäubene Chassene by Milner in Stub. She came to be a server in the wedding at the Milner's house. So this is how nicely things were moving along. Dem Feuer was hot in Javan getliet und der bittere Verdruss auf dem, wo es die Jugend hat mehr Recht auf Asa Blut und Milch wie Chanele. The fire that was in Zava and the bitter disappointment about the fact that this Jugend, is that a negative word? Like this
Youth.
This youth, this Leibitschke had more rights to such a blood and milk. I guess this means kind of young beauty, young youthfulness, freshness as Chanele, hat in ihm übergebrannt. It quieted down, it burnt itself out. Und abgeteilt ist von dem Asch, and now freeing himself from the ashes, hat sich mit ein Euer genommen zu Herren, zu Rav Gronim, der Schadchens Sisserei. And he began with one ear to listen to the sweet talk of the Shadchan, this Gruni that we were talking about before. Wegen nehmen a Balabuster in Stub, to take a wife in the house. Reb Grumen's nevoye is Mekoyim geworden. The I guess his prophecy was realized. Atzin noch azah behoyigkeit wohl Zave gekent onheben vieren a bessere Leben, a sach a besseren, die Faroches Toit. Now, after this calming down, it would be possible for Zava to begin to carry on a better life, a lot better than before Rocha's Toit. Aber da hat sich reingemischt der Sundel seiner, Moisheker de Ben Yochid. But at this point became mixed in this son of his, Moisheker, the only son, the Takshit. Ze wachsen hat sich, der Takshit, und ze pieshet, und ze losen. I love that. He had grown up this jewel, and he was spoiled and pampered. Now that word, pieshet, with all the ions and all the shins.
So pieshet, it's like spoiled.
Say again?
Spoiled.
A porous?
No,
Spoiled. Do you
spoiled.
hear me? Spoiled.
A poritz, like a spoiled,
It's like a bread, like a spoiled bread.
Ja.
spoiled
yeah.
brat. Yeah,
Now he is like a rich boy.
yeah, he was a rich
Yeah.
boy. Der Lehrlichseins auf 8 Klassen Gymnasie hat schon lang weggeworfen. His learning from 10 classes of high school, he had long ago thrown away. Seine zu früh verlorene Backenbogen und seine Stiefel mit gelackte Chalifes seinen allemen gekrochen in the Augen. His, I want to go back, his 2 free sideburns, I think it is, and his,
Premature.
say again,
Let me look at this again.
Yes, premature.
Premature.
Ja.
Oh.
He's
premature sideburns, his sideburns, isn't it sideburns? Backen,
The beard on his cheeks.
yeah.
his cheek.
Bakken is cheeks.
The cheeks, the
Yes.
cheek. So his premature hair on his cheeks and
And
his
verlosene is unkempt.
so it's verlozen. So his unkempt cheek hairs and his boots with lacquered something. Are those heels?
But
They-
bootlegs. They're bootlegs.
They hurt everybody in their ears. Von dem 15-jährigen Ezosporin, from this 15-year-old impudent fellow, welchen Savin hat nur mit a paar Jahr zurück nicht heint gedacht, gehabt bei Cheppen sich mit der Sitziker in Pelzimmer, Kamerun, by this 15-year-old impudent fellow who Zava had just with a few years earlier, not to think about this today, caught him bothering with the Zitziker, that is to say Chanala, in the Pelzkammer. So how old was this Moishika when he was trying to tamper around with Chanala? If he's 15 years old now,
No, he was 15 years old then.
he was 15 years old then. He was 15 then. So now he must be around 16 and a half or so. Is mittemol ausgewachsen a gesunde Beibach. Oh, from that 15-year-old who had been trying to play around with Chanala in the fur room, is suddenly grown up a healthy, lazy person, a Beibach, mit der Kopfhecher von Taten. He was a head taller than the father. Welcher Kuptaka Eufen eigenem Taten von Euben Ahot, who looks at his father from the top down, mit Egelech von einem ausgewachsenen Horn und mit behaltenen Iranier, das heißt, was mir Chacha Bachurim kennen nicht kein alte Leid. So he looks at his father from the top down with eyes von an ausgewachsenem Horn. This is a rooster, an ausgewachsen,
An overgrown.
overgrown rooster, and with a behaltener, a hidden ironia, like a hidden
Irony, yeah.
irony, and that is to say, what we, the young boys can do, you older people cannot do. Der ganze Kibud Av, was der Tachshit based im Ahois, hat sich zusammengespitzt in Kommen zum Taten auf dem Meer und reißen Geld. The total respect for the father, which this Tachshit showed him, was to zusammengespitzt to come to the mill, to come to the father.
Was focused.
Zusammengespitzt, gespitzt, and coming to the father in the mill and ripping money.
Yeah.
Geld, money, Geld. Oi, was weiter? So what more was there? Moshe guckt on in der Krumm, dem Taten mit Mehl, ungestäubene Boden und entfällt halb azoitic, halb gepietschet, the same words. So Moshe looks in a sort of in a crooked, in a not straight way, in a krumme way, in a frowning way at his father, with his the stoib is the dusty beard, and antlers. So that's what the father asks him before. Oi, was weiter? Why are you coming here again?
Yeah.
And Moshe looks at his father in a crooked way with his dusty beard, and answers him in a impudent way, half spoiled and pampered. Tate, wirst alt wissen, wirst du gich alt werden. Father, if you know everything, you'll get old very fast. You'll get old fast. Charlatan entfällt im Zave Obsulton. You're a charlatan. I don't know what a charlatan has to do with it, but charlatan, Zava answers him to this tone.
To get even with him.
Say again?
To get even with him.
Obsulton. Obsulton, to get even with him.
Yeah.
He's not going to get even with him. Guckt on sein ausgewachsenen Ben Yochid und unter die Melke brennen und fällt bei sich herab. He looks at his overgrown only son from under his Melke, from his eyebrows. Melke, from the mel, from the flowery eyebrows, and fällt bei sich herab, and falls.
And he gives up.
He feels bad about himself, like he feels inferior. He feels inferior. He looks at his young boy, and he feels inferior to him, because because of, here, go on.
Die Frischkeit von Moschekes Punim, eingerahmt in dunkle Backen, the freshness from his face, with the dark cheek hair, und der Chutzpah von seinen Augen, and the not the harshness, but and not nastiness, the chutzpah, how would you say that?
Arrogance.
The arrogance from his smiles leuchten in der Killer-Dunkelheit von der Mill mit lieblicher Drohung. Men wird alt, Reb Zave. Men wird alt. So when he looks at the arrogance of the boy and in their cool darkness of the mill, mit lieblicher Drohung, I don't know that. We get old, Reb Zava, we get old. He says it to himself. We werden älter, werden älter.
Yeah. So this lieblicher is benign and Drohung is menace, a benign menace.
So he looks at the sun. He's beaten by the sun. There's nothing more he can do. He's beaten down. He's beaten down. Okay. I guess we stop here.
Okay.